Welcome to our Nourish Self-Care Circle yoga practice. As much as you feel comfortable, I would love for you in this practice to keep your eyes closed as much as possible. This will prevent comparison and the counting of time and encourage you to draw your awareness deeper inward and feel out the postures for yourself. We're going to start in child's pose, so come onto hands and knees. Lay the tops of your feet on the floor with your big toes touching, and either with your knees together, which is more supportive for your spine, or your knees wide apart, which is a bigger opening for your hips, take your bum to your heels. You could extend your arms forward in front of you if that feels comfortable. If your neck needs support, stack your hands underneath your forehead. You could also draw your hands back beside your feet with your palms facing the ceiling to soften your shoulders. Allow your forehead to be heavy wherever it's resting, and then soften your gaze or close your eyes. And begin to notice all of the different sensations coming and going in your body. Notice the pressure of the body where it's in contact with the floor. Notice the temperature of the air in the space that you're in. Notice the touch of your clothing on your skin. And notice the subtle movement of your breath. Begin to expand your breath now, inhaling deeply into your lower back and abdomen. Exhaling fully, allowing the body to sink into the floor. A few more breath cycles like that. And with your next inhale, extend your arms out in front of you if they aren't there already. Place your hands shoulder width apart and spread your fingers wide, feeling your palms connect to your mat. Follow an inhale to come up to your hands and your knees, keeping your gaze soft, or if you're comfortable, your eyes closed. Feeling out your alignment here, placing your palms roughly under your shoulders, knees roughly under your hips. Sink down through the knuckles of your hands, and if it suits you, you could tuck your toes and stretch out the soles of your feet. With your next exhalation, relax your head down, press your mid-back up, hug your navel in, chin to chest, rounding your spine in cat pose. As you breathe in, lift your tailbone, chest, and head, gazing up, belly towards the mat in cow pose. Let your breath guide you through these movements, moving through your spine, massaging your internal organs, and flushing mucus from your lungs. Keeping your eyes closed if that feels safe and comfortable, so you become more aware of the different sensations that occur as you move and breathe. As you start to tune into how your body is feeling today, notice anywhere that you've been holding on to tension. And if there's any way that you'd like to accentuate these movements to suit your body, please feel free to do so. You could move more through your neck or your shoulders, your rib cage or your hips, or hold at a certain point that feels like it's really serving you. Just start to tap into your body's intuition. Try not to overthink it. Just feel it out. If at any point you notice that you start to move on autopilot, your body's in one place and your mind is in another, come back to your breath, come back to the sensations in your body, aligning your mind and your physical body in the moment. The next time you inhale, return to a neutral spine. Take your hands slightly ahead of your shoulders, keep your fingers spread wide and your toes tucked. With your next breath out, relax your head down and engage your core. As you inhale, slowly lift your knees and extend your legs for downward dog. Take your hips up high, heels heavy towards the earth as you sink your chest towards your thighs, lengthening your spine. And still keeping your gaze soft, or if it's comfortable, your eyes closed. Notice what it feels like to hold your body away from the earth. Pay close attention to your palms and how you're connecting there, Try to sink down through the knuckles of your hands and your fingertips to help support your wrists. And each time you inhale, see if you can take the hips a little bit higher as you press the palms down and away from you, bringing even more length into your spine. And we're going to transition into a lunge. If it feels safe and comfortable, challenge yourself to keep your eyes closed as you make this transition, which means you have to go slowly and mindfully. With your next inhalation, step your right foot forward and help it up between your palms until your knee is over your ankle. Lower your left knee down to the mat. Add extra cushioning if you need to, a pillow, or you could double your mat up. And then feel out, squaring your hips forward. Draw your right hip back, left hip forward slightly, and engage your core. You can stay here low to the earth if that feels the best, or take your hands onto your front thigh and inhale to lift your chest up. Think of drawing the ribs back over the pelvis as you ground through your tailbone and lift your sternum up towards the ceiling, using your core to support your lower back. And be mindful of your breath here. And if you do have your eyes closed, notice what this experience is like. Tune in to the micro movements your body is constantly making to help hold you steady. You can keep your hands on your front thigh, or use your next inhale to slowly and carefully reach your arms up over your head. Remembering in this practice that we're really trying to tap into our intuition and feel out our movement. So honestly ask yourself, does it feel really good to have my arms up right now? And if it doesn't, don't feel any need to go there. Your hands can stay on your thigh or come back down to the floor. Take one more deep breath in, lifting through the chest. And then go slow as you exhale. Relax your chest forward, lowering your fingertips back down to your mat. You can always take some height under your palms, some blankets or cushions. Let's wiggle the right toes a little bit further forward. And as you exhale, slowly shift your pelvis back, extending your right leg as much as feels safe for your hamstring, pointing your right toes up towards the ceiling. We come into a little half split. Okay, more height under your hands will support you if your hamstrings feel tight. And you can always keep as much of a bend in that right knee as you need. You may practice with a straight spine, reaching the crown of the head away from the tailbone, or you could round yourself forward if that feels better for your body. Keep feeling it out. Stay connected to your breath. Just watch the different sensations coming and going. Next time you inhale, slowly shift yourself forward, back into your lunge, bringing your right knee back over your ankle. Place your left palm underneath your left shoulder. Could be on a blanket or a pillow, or could be on your mat. And with your next inhale, open your right arm, coming into a twist. Your right hand can always rest on your hip if that feels better for your shoulder. You may stay here or tuck your left toes under, and as you inhale, lift your back knee up off the mat. Remembering that these are all just suggestions. If you have your eyes closed, really tune in. How does my body feel here? And what will serve me best today? Take a couple more deep breaths, gazing wherever your neck feels comfortable. With your next exhale, slowly lower your right palm down. Place your hands on the floor and engage your abdominal muscles. As you inhale, lift your left knee up if it's on the mat and step back to downward dog. Spread your fingers wide, take your feet about hip-width apart, and lift your hips up high. Notice what your breath is like here. Notice how it feels to hold your body away from the mat. And once again, slowly and carefully as you inhale, step your left foot forward. Help it up between your hands. Align your knee roughly over your ankle. Lower your right knee down to the floor. Your hands can stay here on the mat, or with your core engaged, you can inhale, place your palms onto your front thigh, and lift your chest. Drawing your navel in and up as the chest lifts up. Try to bring your ribs back over your hips and ground a little bit through your tailbone, so you're just lengthening your lower back, creating a greater sense of freedom and ease there. Notice how you feel here. If it feels safe and comfortable, I encourage you to keep your eyes closed, even if it's challenging, even if it's wobbly. If you feel very steady and you'd like to, you could inhale and reach your arms up over your head. But again, ask yourself, if I'm doing that, why am I doing that? Am I doing it just because Georgia said to do it, or am I doing it because it actually feels really good for me today? Wherever you're at, take a few more deep breaths, letting the pelvis sink forward a little bit with each exhale, opening up the hips. And slowly, as you breathe out, relax your chest forward. Take your fingertips back down to your mat. Carefully wiggle your left toes a little bit further forward. You may add some height underneath your hands if that supports you. As you exhale, shift your pelvis back, extending your left leg as much as feels safe for your hamstring. Point your left toes up towards the ceiling as you fold forward over that leg. Try to keep your hips squared, guiding your left hip back, right hip forward. And take deep and even breaths here. As you breathe in, slowly shift forward into your lunge, taking your left knee back over your ankle. And plant your right hand underneath your right shoulder on some height or on the mat. As you inhale, open your left arm up, coming into a twist. You can rest your left hand on your hip if that suits your shoulder better. You could tuck your back toes under and inhale to lift your right knee if you like. But again, just keep asking yourself, how does it feel to be here? What is my breath like? What will serve my body best today? One more big breath in. As you exhale, slowly relax your left palm down. Plant your palms on the floor, spread your fingers wide. With your back toes tucked under as you inhale, lift your right knee up and step back to downward dog. And settling in here, grounding through your palms, lengthening your spine, deepening your breath. Slowly, as you breathe in, walk your feet towards your palms. And again, take your time and see if you can do this with your eyes closed. Bend your knees as much as you need to. If it feels easier, you could always walk your hands back towards your feet. So do what feels most comfortable. Once you arrive in your forward fold, take your feet about hip width apart and spread out through your toes, feeling the connection of the feet to the earth. Let your upper body hang heavy. You're welcome to cradle one elbow with each palm. And if that feels nice, you could try slowly swaying the upper body from side to side, just being careful that you don't get dizzy. Returning your torso to the center. Let the head be heavy and arms heavy. Press your feet into the earth with a little micro bend in your knees. Contract your abdominal muscles. And as you inhale, slowly and carefully roll yourself up to standing. You may walk your hands up your legs to support you. Lift your head up last. Roll your shoulders back and down and come to mountain pose. Take your palms together in front of your chest. Making sure your feet are still about hip width apart and parallel. And as much as possible, as much as feels safe and comfortable for you, keep your eyes closed. With your core engaged and your breath very steady, as you inhale, begin to lift your heels away from the mat. It doesn't have to be far. And use your exhale to slowly lower them back down. And just try that a couple more times. Inhaling, let the heels lift up. Exhale, let them slowly lower. This is meant to be challenging, and it's probably wobbly if your eyes are closed, but it doesn't matter. Just feel it out and gain an appreciation for how hard your body works to stabilize you all the time. Inhaling to lift the heels up. Imagine the crown of the head just being drawn up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, slowly lower the heels back down. Holding there with the palms together at heart center in front of the chest. Take a few more deep and conscious breaths here before you re-enter your day. Namaste.